Please be seated. Good morning. Throughout my years at Appleby, I have come to realize that one of the things I appreciate the most about the school is a strong sense of community. A community to me is where people try to lift each other up and even go out of their way to help one another. Even with 750 students attending the school, I still feel that I am able to build strong relationships, which provides a strong sense of community. One of my favorite aspects of the Appleby campus is that it is located right on Lake Ontario, and I always point that out while giving a tour. The lake is probably my favorite place because it looks absolutely stunning when the sun rises and sets. In some ways, I feel like the lake could represent the Appleby community. Every time another person is actively involved, another drop of water is added to the lake. So as the lake grows, so does our own sense of community. If I did not feel such a strong sense of community and belonging at Appleby, I would have been a completely different person. When I was in grade 9, I was not very keen on becoming involved. I joined the same clubs as my friends did. I did not really think of experimenting with all of the options Appleby provided. However, through the years, this mindset changed. And by grade 11, I wanted to join everything and help everyone. That year, I earned over 186 service hours, mostly due to helping out at school events. The main reason I started becoming involved was that I started to feel like part of the community. I joined clubs I liked, and I was able to make a ton of new friends. I felt very connected and engaged, which made this one of my favorite places to be, since every single time I walk to class, I'm greeted with smiling and enthusiastic hellos. Appleby allows me to excel at different activities while still always being challenged. Once I complete one task, there is always a harder one waiting. And through the support of the Appleby community, anything is possible. This environment helped shape me to the person I am today. Appleby is where I started to love becoming involved and volunteering to help others. This place is able to transform a person into a kind and caring individual. I know that there are endless opportunities and activities that I can explore, and even if I do fail, there is an amazing community who helped me get me back on my feet. In grade 10, I was unknowingly put into the advanced stream of math. I was having a great time in class, and I actually really liked what we were learning. I was not that nervous for the first test since I studied all night and I felt pretty confident. However, the next day after I wrote the test, I did not feel that it went as well as I had hoped. When I received the test back, I failed. I literally failed, and this was the first time ever that this has happened to me. So I was pretty devastated. It turns out that it was not because I had absolutely no clue what I was doing, but that I kept on repeating the same mistake. Even though I failed, my classmates helped me by encouraging me to do better and try even harder. The next test I wrote, I did not fail, thankfully, but the challenge never went away. I always had to prepare at least a week in advance before any test. Usually, when I studied, I ended up having 1,000,001 questions. And whenever I emailed any one of my classmates for help, they always responded, which I was very grateful for. Helping one another is able to distinguish how special a community is, since there are always people who are willing to go out of their way to help. When I attended the Ontario Educational Leadership Centre 2 years ago, which is probably known by many as OELC, I remember the very first day right after I was dropped off. You are probably expecting me to explain how much fun it was. However, I was quite miserable. I did not know anyone, it was raining, and I did not even have my phone to tell my parents to come back and get me. Earlier that day, my dad had given me the advice of talking to people and asking them questions, so I would get to know the people in my cabin. I tried that, but I felt like I was getting nowhere. To make matters worse, at the beginning of camp, we were told to list our top 3 choices of activities to participate in, so they could make a schedule for each of the campers. During the second day of camp, I received my schedule, and nobody not a single person from my cabin was in any of my activities. The main problem that I encountered during the first 2 days was that I felt alone, since there were so many people and I could not possibly develop a relationship with each one of them in such a short amount of time. As the week went by, I started feeling more comfortable and found it easier to make friends. I found a group of friends to eat with, people to hang out with during our breaks, and people to talk to in the same activities as me. Immediately after I started making friends, I developed a sense of community there, and I had a great experience. I felt comfortable and was now excited to try new things, which included performing in the talent show with my cabin. I was able to make a great group of friends who I stayed in contact with even after I got home. What resonated with me the most was once I felt a sense of community, I immediately wanted to become more involved, and I ended up really enjoying my time there. This is my 4th year being a Bailey girl, and my first time living in the house. I was so excited to move into residence, and I have had an amazing time so far. Each day, all the other girls in the house inspire me to be my best, and they always help to lift other people up. Whether it is helping another Bailey girl solve a calculus problem right before a test, or cleaning up the common room to make it nicer. My roommate even cleans my side of the room right before room check sometimes, which I'm always grateful for. These small acts of kindness are what I believe makes our community so special. Each week, the House Council and I recognize these acts of kindness through Bailey Girl of the Week. This is one of my favorite parts of the Sunday night meeting, since you are able to learn all about the great stuff people have done in the house that week. The house faculty even help promote this positive, tight-knit atmosphere. One example of this is when they helped fix the heating in my room. In Bailey, my room is the last one to receive heat, since it starts at the other side of the building and then makes its way to my room. So one side of the building is way hotter than the other. My roommate and I even conducted a test where we visited all the other Bailey girls and compared the temperature in the rooms. Immediately after we told Ms. Chow, she contacted maintenance to try to help increase the temperature in our room. She was really concerned and checked in with us at least 6 times to ensure that the temperature was all right. These acts of kindness help build a community, since it creates a caring and compassionate environment. It is not always easy starting in an unfamiliar environment. However, once you try to become involved by maybe participating in an event that you normally would not, or even ensuring that other members of the community feel supported. A fellow student came up to me this year and told me that when she was new, she had no one to sit with at lunch. And for the first week of school, every day I invited her to sit with me. I'm not even able to clearly remember this moment. However, it stuck with her for 2 years. This was the moment I finally realized that every action has an impact on the community. And through people continuously caring for others, this community grows stronger and offers a sense of belonging. Mother Teresa puts these small actions into perspective when she said, "We know only too well that what we are doing is nothing more than a drop in the ocean. But if the drop were not there, the ocean would be missing something." Each raindrop that is added to the lake has significance. Being actively engaged in the community is important because every single drop counts as they work together to grow and expand until there is a sense of belonging, similar to our own community. Each drop of water is important, since if there were no drops of water, there would not be a lake, and the community would disappear. Remember that you are supported by a great environment, and every action has the ability to impact the community. Therefore, it is each of our responsibilities to impact this community in a positive manner through growing and developing ourselves, which in turn will continue to make Appleby a great place to be. Please rise and sing hymn 531.